All right. Today's topic, today's discussion, I wanted to talk about and go over um, our divinity. And I know I talk about it a lot, but I don't think we can talk about it enough. And I wanted to um, kind of just go over what it is I'm talking about, and then why is it so important to get in touch with that aspect of ourself, and what does it mean for us as individuals on our journey? Because we talk about it, we talk about um, the divine mind, and the high self, and um, the Christed mind, and all of this. Titles that we talk about in contrast to the small mind, our ego, and our sensory, our soul, our mind that lives in the sense realm. So um, the divine within us, getting a hold of that first of all is probably absolutely the most important concept that needs to be traded out. Um, we typically have a concept we've been taught that we are working towards uh, getting our divinity, or we have to do something um, to have it enter in, or it's coming from somewhere else. And our divine self, our high self, is it is the I am of us. So we are already divine. We're created out of divine material. We are created in the image, energetic image of divinity. Of our high self is one with um, with divinity. So we are divine. We are God. We are um, uh, made out, formed out of the same fabric, and we are uh, possessing those attributes that are present in the divine. So if we don't get a hold of the fact that we are divine, we are not earning it. It is already within us. It resides. We've never not been. When we leave this body, we're still divine. Coming here, it came with us. We are what entered into this form. This form is just the solid aspect of our ethereal being. Um, so we're one and the same. A drop ocean, right? But we're not a separated piece. We're one. So understanding that all of the high level attributes, the love, the joy for life, the wholeness and wellness, the creativity, the power to walk in our unique expression of our life is built in. It's a flame already burning within us. It's not a separate, not something we have to go find. We don't have to go find ourselves. We need to look in the mirror. We're there, but we need to look in the mirror of divine love and see ourselves reflected back and begin to get a hold of that. Because when we begin to walk in our true nature, we begin to flow and move in a higher plane, and we're more open to higher concepts, concepts that are not part of the collective system of belief. And we begin to be open to another. There can be another reality. If life didn't look like this, is this the only way that life can look? is it possible it can look another way? Yes. Especially if you're wanting to affect change in your life. Yeah, you have to believe that it can look different. But from the moment that we arrive here, even before, we're impressed with concepts and beliefs from the family we landed in and the culture that we landed in and the the part of the country that we landed in, the part of the world that we reside on, right? But none of that matters to who we are in the core. We shoot into this world and we begin to get piled up on top of us. um, you know this means this and that means that, and we believe this, and so this is your belief system, and this is what you believe about yourself, and this is how people behave, and this is what uh, a successful life looks like, and this is what that looks like, and this is a tree. It's only a tree because we said it was a tree. In its world it could be something entirely different, right? We named it a tree, and then we all said this is a tree. It's easier if we all have the same language around it, right? So some things it works and other things it doesn't, but we start to slowly forget, um, and lose uh, the attachment to who and what we actually are, and we begin to live less and smaller. We begin to live from the small mind, and we begin to live from the small mind in the small world, in our small communities. And we know that because uh, of the struggles all around us and even within our own lives. But also, any conversation we have, um, if we look at if we look out at humanity and we say they should do this, they should do that, or a person doesn't behave like this, or this is what I need to know that I'm loved. We're in the small mind. We're in the small mind. Divine love doesn't have those concepts and constraints. Divine love looks at us, looks through us, right? And there isn't the judgments, right? Judgment is something we created for ourselves. We judge people and circumstances to validate ourselves and to um, validate that what we're doing is right. And really getting in there into our thinking mind and looking at what we're thinking is extremely important. It's an extremely necessary part of our walk up in our elevation. Because if we don't change our thoughts, we won't get into the power that we need. And we won't get into the volume of love that's required. That's even there for us to express, because we're clinging to what we've learned, and we're clinging to what we feel is important to us. I couldn't live without this concept, or I couldn't live without my life being exactly like this. As we evolve and we begin to challenge uh, what we're seeing, right, and what we're feeling, and the conversations that we're having, and we begin to really want more expression of the divine flowing in us. We really want more of that identity. It's not a separate identity from us that we're fanning a flame on. It's our authenticity that we want to bring forth. So we want to, delayer. Um, if we were a paper doll, we would take off all of this stuff and we would, put our robes on, right? our queenly, kingly robes, right? Because we are um, we are of the high mind. We are of born of love, and we have to get past living below that. And the only reason we do is we don't have another concept, or we don't really believe another concept for us exists, or we really kind of just like where we're at with what's going on. It might be too hard, might seem too hard to do that analysis, right? But as we come into life with a lantern, and it's a lantern that we make, and we use it to light our way. And as we're lighting our way and we're going down the path of our life, making choices based on what we've been taught, this kind of lines up with my desire, I'll move in this direction or that direction, or this is what this is the pictures I see all the time, so that's the life I want to have. And we start walking with our lantern, and we come around a bend, or we hit a bump in the road, or some drama happens, or we get an epiphany, and we start to think, there has to be more. There has to be more. I've achieved this and I'm still not feeling it, or this isn't working for me. I don't even have a desire to have that. Excuse me, I'm just moving in that direction because everybody else is. And we begin to reach inside, and we become aware of our eternal being. And then that light begins to ignite within us. And then that becomes the lamp that begins to shine forth upon our path. So many, many times, the light is shining on a path that is completely different than what you have been taught, or what you have been thinking or planning for yourself. It's higher and better than you could ever imagine. but an unwillingness to let go of the concept or even be open to something new keeps us where we are in a limited space, where really the ultimate for all of us is to move through our life, aware of our fellow travelers, and allowing them to travel at the pace and in the story they're traveling in on their individual journeys, with a lack of judgment from us, and a lack of criticism, and a lack of negative energy from us. Because we look at the divine within ourselves, and we reach out to the universal love, and we're not expecting to see get a negative comment or a kick in the butt, right? We're not. And so as we evolve and let go of and really challenge, is what I'm thinking, does it have a should? It should be, it has to be, this is the way, this is right, this is wrong, this is black, this is white. If it has any of that to it, really examine it. Because neutrality, it's actually beyond neutrality. It's complete open love is where divinity lives. And each person on their path is going to look different to us than our path, especially if they're in a culture or a different part of the country, right? What do we know? We don't know anything. We barely know enough to manage our own selves, right? So getting into the love and within us, and really challenging what's standing in the way of complete flow through. Because as we begin to flow, allow the love that is in us to rise up and shine a light on our thoughts, then as those thoughts come forward, we say, is this fruitful? Is this something I need to challenge or change or re-examine? If there's negative energy coming up with it, I need to get it out of there. I need to get it out of there. Anything we hold against another or about another is handcuffs that attaches them to our hip. So now we're connected through the energy. Like, who wants that? Right? Who wants that? And it's not about pretending to love everybody and pretending to let things go. It's about really getting in there and doing it. Getting in there and doing it. You know, if a person says, my life can't move forward because you know, I'm purple, and purple people don't have the same opportunities, then your life won't. But guess what? A magical, amazing life is in space right next to you. But the concepts within um, are holding you where you are. You know, I want to, find someone who's going to love me and going to do all these things for me. That's all about you. That's all about you. Love isn't about that. I mean, kind expressions are an overflow of something real. Love is a sitting face to face with someone and wanting the highest and best for them, whether that includes you or not. Whether it includes you or not. It's elevating up to where I don't need all my needs met and my insecurities pandered to, so that I can be happy on this earth at your expense or my expense. It's elevating above that to a higher place, to an open expression of, what do you need to move forward? And, we'll walk together for a while, and then maybe we'll not walk together. It has to be okay. It has to be okay. We don't own people, and we don't own, sometimes we're fortunate, and in a healthy union, you negotiate and you go back and forth, right? And even so, you may come to a place where you're like, is this just isn't working for me? Okay, then it's not working for me either. So let's help each other move on. That's higher and better. That's higher and better. Guilt, shame, all of that is not of the divine. It's something that we're taught. If we're tuned in, when we're tuned in to the divine expression that we are, our divine fingerprint, we're going to not be doing hurtful, mean things because we're divine, right? We're going to be moving in love. We're going to stop and think, right? We're going to participate in our life as the precious gift that it is, for ourselves and the elevation of ourselves and the light that begins to have the dominance in our life will flow out and change people's lives just because it's there, because it's allowed to flow. It will flow out into the energy. We arrive here empty, and then we start filling up, and then we need to clean the house out, right? What are we hoarding, right? What's useful? What isn't? What's holding me back? What's within me that's holding me back and holding other people back? Or, we talk a lot about our energy footprint, our auric field, the thoughts we have and the emotions that go with them are transmuted out into the space all around us. And if we walking down the street and we see somebody and we're like, oh, that person must be, a deadbeat. They feel that. They feel that. You may as well have thrown a rock and hit them in the head, right? And you feel it when somebody thinks something. We just don't we're not usually aware of it, right? So um, the divinity within us is what we are. It is the blood flowing through our veins, except it's the energy blood, right? It's also the other blood, but think of it, you know, it's the energetic life. It's the light within us. We are God. We are little gods. We are, if we're little gods, we ought to be moving in that fashion, right? Elevating those around us, opening up to new possibilities for our higher and better expression beyond what we can ask and think. Because we only know what we've seen and been taught. And if we think something crazy beyond that, we cancel it out. We cancel it out. And and the mind steps right in. It's very subtle. You know, I had an experience you know, coming here and staying in Martin's house, right? What has been, it had its challenges at the beginning and through, because I was faced with the fact I needed to let go of the hurt, right? And when I let go of the hurt, uh, I filled up with a really not human friendship love for him. Like I had a friend, and then the first time I was like, oh, I have friendship love. My mind said, you're not supposed to have that. And I said, oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am supposed to have that. But it's that subtle. It's that subtle that we can turn it off and walk to the side of our divinity through our thinking mind and the things we've been taught about it. Right? Hurts and offenses are ours. They don't belong to anybody else. They belong to us. So it's got to get them out and move them along down the road. It's not worth it, right? Um, but tapping in, spending time being love, but spending time being love um, in the meditation and feeling the love and steeping in it is superb, and we absolutely need to be doing that all the time. Just tapping in, even like we talked before, the pause between the inhale and exhale is absolutely a precious moment to feel that. But we got to put it into action in every moment of our life. We must align our mind with the divine love qualities that reside in our heart. That is really a roadblock that will stand in the way of great and wonderful things in a person's life. We must align our mind with the divinity. We must take authority over it. It isn't going to get suctioned out and done for us. We have to do it ourselves. We must look in the mirror of our thoughts and say, what are my motives behind this? What are my thoughts? What are my feelings? And really look at it. And the divine within us will help us, right? If we're really wanting to elevate and move beyond what we know into a higher, richer experience in our lives, we must cross over this bridge. We must. And if you'd like to comment, you can unmute now. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it.
That's deep.
Yes.
Super deep.
It's super important.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get it. I mean, every time we say should, every time we look at someone and we're not feeling love welling up within us, we're not pouring love out, we got to look at that. And not in a mean way. It's just we've been trained. Our training is bad. It's time for some new training, right? It's not negative. It's just concepts are taught, thought processes are taught, collective agreements are chosen and then clung to as if they're a law or something.
Mm.
Anybody else? No.
You are on your game today.
I've been kicking my own butt around town, so I thought I'd share.
Oh,
So, in no way do I want, it's going to mute again. In no way do I want anyone to feel, well, you can feel whatever you want. The intention is not to have you have a person feel bad. The intention is to wake up. I want to say wake up and look inside and really start looking at the music that you're playing through your thoughts and emotions and start participating in it, participating in aligning your mind to divine mind, to the mind of Christ. And the mind of Christ, not through religion. Remember, religion, writings were written in their time and were also, written by men. You have a divine soul, a divine spirit within you. You can hear it. You can hear it. And coming up into the new year, I really want to surge forward in myself, but also, as I evolve and change, I really want to create the energy that elevates you guys to keep reaching. Because there's so much, if we all attach to, connected with, and began to live in our divinity as our baseline reality and not our ego mind, we will change the world just by the nature of our being. It will happen all around us because the power is free. And so that's really an important message. It's an important message. So I'm giving it over. And so we'll go into a meditation and spend some time in the love. And while you're in there in the love, really, think about if you want to go deeper, if you want to reach for more, if you want to become more your authentic personality and less the one you've been taught. I don't know. So close your eyes, except unless you're driving. And settle into your rhythmic breath. Taking a big breath in and emptying it out. Connect with the love in your heart. Feel the love within your heart. Now image your heart opening, making more room. More fire. More light. With each breath, feel the expansion. Breathing into your heart and out into the space around you. Floating in a sea of love. Love and light within you and all around you. You're full of light and you're floating in light. And as you're floating in this light and life and love all around you, image the golden light within your heart space, spreading out. Image it flowing up and into your mind. The love is in you It's in your mind, in your thoughts. If you want to, have the intention for higher thinking. Ask the light to illumine your thoughts so that you can evolve them. Expand your creative mind to see like you've never seen the opportunities that are here. To always be open for something new that you don't know. The universe is full of stuff we don't know. We don't have a clue, but it's here for us. Feel that love completely fill you. Floating in it, soaking it in, recognizing it as yourself, your higher self, your divine self, free, free. This is your life, your moment to moment experience, if you want it. This is here for you. Feel the love. Let it have more room. Nothing bad will happen. You'll just feel more love. take a breath in. Empty it out. Reconnect with yourself here in this place and time. If you feel like it, open your eyes. If not, that's okay. I'm going to have a closing comment. So when we're really committed to evolution and living our authentic being, our divine, loving life of light and love, shifts and changes are going to happen. You might not recognize your life, right? And look at me. But what I've concluded is obviously that none of that was my highest and best. None of that was my highest and best, or I would still be doing it. But opening to a new concept, opening to something else, opening to see more for myself than I had been taught, changed me in a big way, opened my eyes. So growth creates change, but it's not to be feared. The change is easy and good, and it's not fearful. Fear is just, fear. It doesn't mean anything. Don't feed it, and it'll go away. It's a stray dog or cat. So have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week. I love you all. Reach out if you need me at all.
Thank you, Audrey.
Mhm.
Love you.
That's it.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you.